following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
What's up, everybody? This is Noise98 here.
What's up, everybody? It's I, Ken Snake.
Hello, everyone. This is WingArts28.
Greetings, everyone. This is CC Trainerling.
Hi, guys! Godman here, and you're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down for a low, low price of $19.95.
Thank you, Billy May.
You're welcome!
And we have a special guest joining us today, so please introduce yourself.
What's up, everyone? This is zfunkman from the DeviantART group PettersUnited. Also, you may know me as yszman from YouTube. I have other aliases, but if I told you, I would have to kill you.
Well, then I must die.
I don't want to die!
Alright, guys. So, the plot here for Proud the Peacock is when Basil the Peacock, who is painfully shy, has to make a big debut at the Botanical Gardens, and the pets try to help him overcome his shyness. And the subplot is that young Lee wants Blythe to use her abilities to talk to the pets for the good of humanity. My first positive is this is probably one of the biggest things that hit me on this episode. The large amount of callback. We had Sharuk back, we got Weber back, we got Sugar Sprinkles back, we got Scout, who else? We had the Tiger
Old
from
Bananas,
Old
Madam
Bananas,
Palm,
Sharuk,
Cora, super cute investigators.
Yeah.
I love
There
that
were
bit.
so many callbacks in this episode. Like, I know there were probably a little bit more than that, but man, there were so many.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It was great seeing all these pets back again. I also loved the reference to Sharknado when they did Catnado in the tornado. And that's where they brought back all the callbacks.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep, it just goes to show that those characters are not just, one-offs. No, these characters still exist in this series somewhere.
Once
And it's
you're in the
great to see Pepper back,
show,
too.
you're always a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you're in a tornado, you're still part of the show.
Once a pet, always a pet.
Who else was excited to see Weber back?
I actually was excited.
Weber was actually a big surprise. Like,
Oh my gosh,
wow, hello.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of him last week when Whitney mentioned the hotel of we don't want spiders in our hotel.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I never actually knew Weber would come back, but I was surprised that he actually did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think, and the way that Weber actually somehow was a bit, annoyed by the Peacock, which we'll get into later, he pretty much just typical, Looney Tunes, walk off by just having his luggage on, take his fedora, and then just I'm out of here, just I quit. I think I might have signed up for my earlier Looney Tunes, cartoon with that.
Well, stick a fork in me, I'm done.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, the one other positive I like to add on was, like I said earlier, it has to do with Basil the Peacock. Even though Mrs. Tommy said his name is Basil, but well, the thing is that when I thought about the Peacock at first, I thought that it was gonna be some sort of diva who just can't handle the stage fright, and it kind of like what Zoe is, but no, what we got here is actually this nearly allergic personality of a Peacock that I guess makes something actually I thought it was pretty funny here, and the fact that even though it's another dog story that we've seen a bit many times, it's kind of interesting just to go to see his process into it. I mean,
Russell may finally have his BFF, man, because I always thought he's the one red pet that's kind of left, the odd one out, because you have all the other pets like Vinny and Sunil, of course. You got Zoe and Pepper, and I think Minka and Penny, I guess. And Russell's the only one really without, a BFF, which is why I think he always lasted down the Blight so much, so.
So, another positive that we touch upon is, Pepper, and, basically, Pepper was sort of a great mentor, to Basil. It just shows that she actually, with her experience with, comedy and stage presence, that she actually thought that, she could help him gain, a bit of confidence, just based on just to find out what's wrong with the stage fright and why he may have had that. So yeah, and it just shows she won't give up to to make sure that he makes his great impression at the Botanic Gardens.
Yeah.
She also makes a good personal trainer too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with Pepper, her alliteration was really hilarious. It's funny seeing or listening how Tabitha accentuating her P's way too much. And it makes the alliteration very, very noticeable.
People just love the P's, don't they?
I know I do.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of Blight's pet project, how she sort of like was sort of trying to help Shivers when no one else really would. It's like, and it always seems to be like the most towards the audience, like the most annoying, like guest pet who seems to get on everyone's nerves, but she has like the most patience.
There's one little thing I gotta say about this little positive here. Come on, Basil, you gotta eat lightning and thunder!
Yes! So much like Goldmill.
Yep.
Alright.
Pepper Goldmill. Make it happen, folks.
I was doing Mickey from Rocky, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking that
hello,
too.
Mickey Goldmill, hello.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was to my next positive, which is the references. They referenced the Terminator in the very beginning, and then they talked about Catnado, which has to be a reference to Sharknado. Very terrible movie, but so. And also referenced Rocky with that montage. And that montage was performed by David Steele, who is a very famous guitar player. For any of you who are musicians like me and James here, and CC, and Bacon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh. So our next positive, we touch upon our young me's crazy ideas. Well, particularly that's actually the subplot from the Peak subplot, and particularly right here though, it's this actually is where we get to see so much of young me's interest into seeing what Blythe can do with her pet talking ability that maybe she could expand upon for the greater good of humanity. And what we got here are these three funny fantasies where one of them actually involves Blythe and Young Me actually doing their own sort of infomercial on the talking tips stuff, and then the other one is the weather the weather news, and then the other one is we said earlier, the callback to that show, the callback to that
Super Cute Investigators.
Super Cute Investigators, yeah, because the Biscuit twins earlier actually brought it up, but I thought Me and Blythe's own take is just actually much better.
They're showing the biscuits. Oh yeah, it's showing the biscuits how it's done.
Yeah.
It's fair to say they both love the show. They all love it.
They did better.
All girls in Downtown City probably enjoy watching Super Cute Investigators.
Well, they are all in the target demographic, so I wouldn't honestly be surprised.
And one thing, I don't know about you guys, but I thought Blythe as a detective reminded me of Batman. She sounded like Batman.
Oh yeah, she had a low voice.
Well, actually, to me, she actually sounded like that one guy from CSI Incarnation. I can't remember which one it is. It's
Horatio? Was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. CSI Miami. That's it.
Miami.
Yeah, that guy who always has to make puns and yeah!
Yeah, you make a pun, then the Who starts playing.
Where's David Tennant?
Going back to fantasy sequences, I love the beginning part when Zoe and Vinny had fantasy sequences about how the Peacock would be like. And especially for Zoe, I loved her imagination for who the Peacock was. And personally, I would prefer that version instead of the one that we got at the end.
Of course you would say that, of all people.
Zoe lover.
But I was going to say that the Robo Peacock actually made me think of, if you guys are fans of Aqua Teens, the Christmas Ghost of Past from Future, the Ghost of Christmas Past from the Future, thousands of years ago.
And I guess our final positive we could pretty much talk about is the fact that near the end, Blythe and Young Me thought of this idea that in order for maybe if there's a chance for Blythe to maybe expand her own interest with pets and people and owners together, they actually thought of creating this festival or an event called Pet Fest. And particularly with that announcement, it sort of gave us this impression that this could be the foreshadowing for the season finale on March 7th. And particularly, this is actually sort of a great idea. I mean, pretty much, I was really happy that they made that announcement. So the idea was something that we're excited to look forward to on March 7th. And also, I was looking back at what the Pet Fest was about, or I guess what the Plaza also. They're actually part of this new toy line for the LPS toy sets, which is pretty much expected because it's Hasbro, and when they make stuff like that, it's supposed to go in with the toys.
Yeah.
Ah yes, Hasbro. Our motto: buy all our playsets and toys. She Commandos coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, I got one positive I'd like to add. One positive is just Young Me in general, man. I just love her. She's my the third favorite human character on the show, or at least, or maybe second, behind Blythe and perhaps Roger. And I thought you definitely come a long way because I remember when she was introduced, she was, in my opinion, the most forgettable of Blythe's three human friends, and she she quickly became one of my favorites. I think she and Blythe make a great little tandem, a team. And sometimes, Young Me sort of like plays like the sidekick, the straight woman to Blythe's scheming, but this time, Young Me's like wild imagination. And I thought Blythe was like the straight man in this episode, and I thought they just make a great tandem. I just like to add that.
Can I add something real quick about that?
Yeah.
One of my favorite things, but one of my favorite scenes was in the very beginning when she goes down the dumbwaiter, opens it up, and there she is, that smiling. Just look at Cece's profile picture.
It had to be done.
My nightmares.
That's like her troll
what we
face.
call a slasher smile.
That's like her troll face.
You mad, bruh? Get on my level, mate. I'll wreck you.
Wanna
With that
play
man,
a
I believe it's
game?
time for them negatives.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Alright.
I do have any.
Well,
Alright.
I actually have like a bit. I have a minor negative. It would have to be the fact that, well, even though I like the pet plot fine though, I felt it was still a bit a tad predictable. Because like I said earlier, like it is an underdog story, and that he's going to eventually find something that could improve upon, and for that matter, so. But it was still fine, and especially like when especially with the Lucky Charm aspect when Pepper gave him the bow tie, that even open ass wear, and then but we actually know it's actually it's hard that actually is what may have brought us confidence near the end. Yeah, well, it still doesn't help out that both ties are like.
I also have one negative for myself, and I think it expands through the entirety of the episode, because the episode starts off with Blythe studying, or at least trying to study algebra, and she wants Young Me to be her study partner. But in the end, she never actually studies algebra throughout the whole episode. Young Me just blows off Blythe and just thinks about what they want to do in the future if everyone knows she could talk to pets. I think studying for school is much more important than thinking about the future, especially when it comes to difficult subjects such as algebra, because I know algebra is hard and you should study at that as much as you can, just like any other class.
I hate algebra with a burning
Sometimes
passion
Snake
without
just
the song.
doesn't get it. Well, they probably would have studied eventually. It's just that, pets, pets, man.
Yeah, they could have studied after the episode.
Yeah, think ahead, Snake. Think ahead in the future.
I mean, who's to say that they weren't doing it, off camera? Huh?
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
Logic.
Yeah.
perhaps right after.
I think my other negative I like to touch upon is the fact that when the pets were trying to figure out about what's Basil's problem with stage fright, and for the matter is whenever they actually brought up a lot of exposure about how he's gonna do his own presentation, it has all these bumps coming out of his body and feathers, but I don't have a problem with that. It's just that when Minka actually comes in to try and say something that makes him more nervous, it kind of feels a bit annoying for that matter. I mean, just Minka didn't do much to help. She just acted a bit like a jerk, and it's well, I don't care. Yeah.
For me, the only positive, I'm sorry, let me start over. For me, the only negative I really have is Basil. I know people like Clay said, he was really, really funny and stuff, but to me, when it comes to nerdy characters, when you get to the level that Basil was, it kind of stops being funny after a while, and then it just kind of gets annoying. I mean, come on. A humidifier. All that hand sanitizer, and so much in between that's oh my god, that's so nerdy. He was somewhat good, just really not the best camper that the pets have ever had.
Yeah,
I could agree with that.
It kind of belongs to Parker for me.
He reminds me of Kyle's cousin from South Park.
Oh my god, not him. Kyle's cousin Kyle. Oh god.
Well, I know he had some problems, but he's still fine.
Yeah.
So I guess we could go on to final.
I have one negative I'd like to add.
Okay, sure.
Okay, and that's just Finny for the most part, just being the kind of buffoon again. They just it's always put him in a negative light sometimes. I just like to get some more development from him. Like, it always have to be like the punching bag for the other pet.
Yeah, Vinny definitely needs more development.
Yeah, this is why I want to see him. I want to see him more of an episode where he actually does have some sort of like development of his dancing. And as well as just his own.
But that's just his character, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Well, and we have noticed before that, like in Snowstorm, and we know that he is somewhat of a genius. I mean, heck, he figured out the formula for nuclear fission.
He's a genius.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So for me, overall, this was a great episode. I really, actually no, I can't really say that, because I always go in with good expectations. I never really look down on an episode until I watch it. But I've been really satisfied with this season. And the second half, I mean, yeah, there were some episodes that weren't necessarily my favorites, but they were really good, and these episodes were fantastic so far. The callbacks left and right, the references were awesome. Blythe and Young Me were pretty good. The pets were awesome. Basil was pretty cool. And so I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. IGN, it's okay.
Did the same thing again. And for me, I like the part when Blythe was a weather reporter in the middle of the episode, because the funny thing is, Blythe is played by Ashley Ball, and Ashley also plays another reporter in the series, Sally Hairspray.
Yeah.
And in this episode, I noticed the pets were very, very friendly towards Basil, and they really wanted to help him. But in real life, if you see a nerd having algae problems and look disgusting and stuff like that, many people would actually not want to help him, and they would just make fun of him. But in this show, no one judges other pets, and I love that. People should be treated equally. So with that said, I think I'll give this an 8.5 out of 10.
That's what I always say. This shit, people could learn something from this show.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Same as other shows too. I mean, that's like, well, I just like shows that actually do that like type of lesson examples. Yeah. So with that said, this is such a good episode, and yeah, I mean, I know Basil has a bit of problems, but I enjoy him fine here, so for Basil. I did enjoy the crazy ideas for the animal talking purpose. Pepper was a great mentor, and the callbacks, we're grateful to see them. And what I really like also, just the Pet Fest, foreshadow is something that is to keep in mind when we eventually get over to March 7th. Like, it just makes actually, like, hopefully season 9 will be as good as, like, the episode that we're about to see, so. Yeah, great stuff here. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10.
When I first saw the synopsis to this episode, I was kind of going in with some low expectations because, well, you know, it just didn't sound that good to read. But then when I saw it, my whole opinion changed. I actually really enjoyed this episode. I love the references, callbacks, the human plot with Young Me and Blythe. That was hilarious. The pet plot, predictable, yes. Basil, rather annoying, but still, I felt it was pulled off very well, and I got really nothing to complain about that. And I really enjoy the foreshadowing that we're going to get for the season finale coming up. So, honestly, nothing bad to say about the episode. I'm going to give it a 9.3 out of 10.
All right, I'm going to keep this one short and sweet with 2 words. Loved it. 9.5 out of 10.
That's short. And our guest?
I like this episode. I love this episode. I probably liked it more when I saw it like a second time. I normally like to grade like for each plot and average them out. I mean, the pet plot kind of gets a 9 out of 10 simply because it's just a little predictable, but I was really entertained. As for the Blight plot, I loved it, man. 10 out of 10. I love Young Me, and I love the skits they did. It's nice to see the humans have fantasies and skits. Normally it's like a pet only thing, and of course set up for the finale, so that kind of gets a 10 out of 10. So to average it out, the episode gets a 9.5 out of 10.
Happy birthday to Steve.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Yes, happy day of birthing.
Guys, and so this is Neil Nation 98.
I Ken Snake.
We're Nurse 28.
CC Trainer Ling.
James Conman.
zfunkman.
And this is us signing off. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a nice LPS day, everybody.
Stay classy.
Rock on, guys.
Take care, everyone.
2 hours later. Hello everybody, this is Downloads Bacon here, doing a little bit of a training montage, trying to get pumped and ready for this review, because as you'll notice, my voice is back. My lovely, soothing to your ear voice is back. Getting ready for this, and I'm going to head to wherever they told me to go to do this review, so I'm heading that way right now. So ready for this. Man, it's going to be great to do this with the guys. It's just been a while. The audience has been requesting it, not really, but it's going to be, and no one's here. Well, here's a note, and on it is a letter. And here's this message from Ekans. Probably should take a look at it. Says to just do my usual thing. Alright then, let's get started. Well, I have to try to be organized here. I'm not as organized as Basil here, but I'll give this a shot. I'll start off alphabetically, I guess, with C, comedy. In this episode, the comedy was fantastic. If you really just look, there's a lot of little animational things that they do. Actually, that could be first. Animation, whatever. But I digress. Especially the commercial. Every time Blythe would promote the DVDs, she would always have to be looking away from the camera, then look towards the camera. Always like a side head turn. Kind of wish they did something like Weird Al, Beverly Hillbillies, where he's constantly trying to find the camera. Play, if you could. I love the weather one also, especially the reference to Sharknado where they had Catnado. That was hilarious. The whole part of Young Me's ideas was great, especially my favorite was when they actually did a slight callback to the super cute investigators. I still love that line. That's right, I snailed it. Man, I just wanted the Who to play so bad, but I think you guys already touched up on it, I'm assuming. As you can probably gather, I really enjoyed the Young Me and Blythe plot a lot. While we go to the B plot of Basil of Baker Street, well, that's not his name actually, but I really did love the jokes in this B plot also, especially the yarn joke was played very, very well. It was not overused, and Zoe and Pepper were really great in this episode. Just had to compliment that too, because they are part of the comedy. The song was really, really, really good. It's funny at the end when it kind of faded out. Ooh, I thought that was hilarious. And I don't know what else you want me to say, but the comedy in this episode was gold. It was strong. Okay, am I the only one at the end of the episode when Basil shows off tail feathers, if I'm correct? Am I the only one that when the light was shining, everybody was in awe? You know what? I think I should just show you what I mean. Clay, if you could, do the thing. That was beautiful. Don't want to repeat everything too much, but the group kind of touched up on some of my other positives here. I had a lot of positives in this episode, but the comedy really needs to be touched up on. Now, Basil is not a horrible character. He's not a great character. He's more just, he's our underdog, more or less, and it's not bad. The lesson of Basil's plot is very nice, so I think it's one that every cartoon should probably touch up on in their own unique ways. LPS had their way of doing it, and it was done very comedically and very well for how they touched up on it. I guess it's time now to knock down those negatives. Now, someone said that the plot was very predictable. Due to how much time we've had with television stories and whatnot, most stories are now predictable. If they do a turn or twist, it could be interesting, but it's a gamble. You know, we knew that Pepper was going to give Basil something to distract his mental block, and we knew Basil was going to succeed. It would have been odd if he failed. And of course, we have to touch up on the last one. Leave it Ekans to be very creative with this final negative, and I apologize. A negative in here, I guess you've already heard, is just how they didn't study for algebra. I am completely just out of words on this one. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding with me. I guess that could be important later. I'm assuming they do that afterwards. I really am baffled. I really am, because I didn't even notice that, so that's pretty amazing that that could be brought up. I might be wrong, but in the story of the episode, I'm pretty sure algebra does not come into play. Yeah, maybe. I might be wrong. No, I'm not. Who am I kidding? Don't want to touch up on it too much, because I think it's time for me to wrap this up. Overall, I think this episode was very, very nice. It was a very good episode, strong on comedy, very entertaining. A predictable story, but you see, if you are entertaining and you've got just different little things to add, some of these plots they've been tackling have been done before, but they add a little charm to it, especially with all our characters that can work well off of other characters. Zoe and Pepper especially. I think this is the second episode in a row that we get of these two. I'm not complaining. That's awesome. Everything about this episode was great, except if you do not like Basil, or the character type that he is, you might not like it so much. But if you're okay with Basil and the character type that he is, then I see no real problem here. Young Me was great, everything was good, nothing really wrong here. So I guess the score that I'll be giving this episode for right now is a 9.9 out of 10. Strong comedy, strong stuff, everything was great. The only reason I don't give it a perfect score is because Basil is a bit of not a strong positive, he's not a negative, he's just more indifferent. No new episode next week, but the following week we will have two. I'll be seeing you in the next episode. Thanks, and thanks again.
This is NBC Television.